Yeah, but all kids smoke pot. They have to. It's a rite of passage. With certain people, it sticks their whole life. Like me. Yeah, I just grew up and there was weed around me everywhere. It was really hard to get, and getting it was like a status symbol. And it was before the pills, before the Xanax, before the lorazepam, before the Valium, before the Zyprexa, before the before the Doxepin, before the Klonopin, before the Alprazolam. Oh God, yeah. The mother's milk, the only the barbiturate, the closest thing to a barbiturate was marijuana. Marijuana. That's what you do at the end of the night. That's what I used to do. I used to come home from. I used to wait till 11 o'clock at night, watch the Channel 11 news out of New York City with Mr. G and Kaidi Tong. Then the honeymooners would start, and then I'd go into my little Mexican baggie of hairsprayed leaves and seeds and stems with some ultra brown, nasty Mexican weed. Smoke that in a steamroller, big paper towel roll with aluminum foil over it, and watch Jackie Gleason and Audrey Meadows and fuck my girlfriend. Finish up my second 40, call it a night. Fall asleep with my hands on her titties. Yeah, I definitely hit the roof. Give me one of those. Give me that. Oh my god. Fuck. Yeah, that was the shit, and it stayed with me my entire life. The '90s were also awesome because there was a revolution in weed. There was a major revolution, and I'm sure you remembered if you were there. It's called hydroponics. They were able to You were able to clone plants now, cross them, clone them. Cloning plants was a big thing. Crossbreeding was another big thing. Horticulture through hydroponics was a big thing. The weed potency and aesthetic went straight through the fucking roof. Up until that point, none of us had ever seen green marijuana or marijuana without seeds. It was all hermaphrodite plants mostly, Mexican, shake, and tiny buds that were hairsprayed together with Aquanet. Tons of stems, tons of seeds, tiger stripe seeds, or infertile seeds. None of us seen green weed ever until 1990 fucking 3, 94 at the latest. And then when you did, you'd pick up 2.5 grams of it. It would cost you $60. The weed was sticky in a natural way. It was fluorescent green. It was grown on rocks. A lot of it inside a fucking a terrarium with CO2 under intense light. And it was a revolution. We smoked the shit that tasted different. It looked different. It smelled different. Yeah, that was and hip hop kind of combined with that revolution in weed, and then you had the Chronic come out, and the Chronic was talking about the chronic disorder that is habitual marijuana smoking, and it just went through the fucking roof. Went through the fucking roof. You remember? You remember Bubblegum? You remember Bubba? Do you remember Cinderella? That Y2K end of the era, end of the century, bud. You know what I'm saying? I got some. I got some. I got some bubblegum Kush. I got some Bubba. I got some Bubba number 5. I got some NL number 5. Some Northern Lights. I got Haze number 1. Haze number 2. Oh my god, this fucking chronic. Where'd you get that? Is that fucking weed? It's so green. It doesn't even look like weed. That's what Mila Bot said when she first seen it. Where are the seeds? There's no fucking seeds. Why? That's odd. You sure this is marijuana? She said the same thing I said. It looks like weed, but it's green. Yeah, and you didn't smoke it in a joint. That'd be too much. You smoked it in your metal bowl. The bong would burn it out too quick, and you would cap the cover on your bowl if you didn't have a cap. You try to save it. Some chronic here from the guy down the street. Now it's like that too, but it's different. We are having a little bit of a revolution, you know? The infused weed is my favorite thing these days. The shit where they say it's infused, but it's not. It's sprayed with a dubious chemical compound. Nobody's sure what it is, and it makes, believe it or not, it makes the weed smoke easier. They spray little buds. They'll spray like a 1 gram bud, sell it in packs of 3 for $60. It's double the price for 3 grams. Remember when three grams meant 3 fingers across? No, not anymore. Not since the 90s. That's what 3 used to mean. Remember, you used to get your weed, it'd be wet, you'd have to put it in the microwave? Oh, yeah. All those days. From a home grower. Get some weed here. Yeah, now they got the sprayed weed. And what I like to do with that is they're these slime balls. Shut up over there. These snot, and the weed shrinks. It'll be 1 gram, and they'll spray it, and it'll be this snotty, sticky ball. And if you're careful, you could pull it apart into little tiny pieces and pack it in your joint and make a hash joint. Um, yeah, there's many brands out there that are infusing weed or spraying it, and I like it. It's great. And the spray they use, you can both smell it, taste it. They do all kinds of flavors. They'll do strawberry. They'll do blueberry. Blueberry is a popular one. I've had it. It's delicious. It tastes like a blueberry piece of bubble gum. And you can smell it if you get it on your hands. You can smell it, and it stinks. It fucking stinks like a car air freshener, but of like blueberries or strawberries. But it's just weed, and you can see from the texture, it's thoroughly doused. You break it open, there's a bit of a piece of stem inside, and you're like, "Is this shit gonna light?" And it lights on fire in your bong, and it stays on fire. You know what I mean? It's so toxic and it's so flammable. You put it in your joint, and the thing about it is it makes the weed. I don't want to say like a Newport cigarette, but it makes it like tolerable. You could take big bong rips, which I can't smoke anymore. I can't. I don't have the lungs for it anymore. Plus, the weed is different these days. It's not nearly as smokable as it used to be. It's very harsh. The weed these days, very very harsh. Unless you can roll a good joint, you're out of luck. You're gonna cough. But this shit here that they infuse is just delicious. You get it on your fingers. You could smell it throughout the house. It reminds you of teenage girls every time I smell this shit. And that's what I'd be doing. You know what I'm saying? What a stoned lazy bitch. It's making cookies in the kitchen. Stoned out of her mind. Hungry. Fucking hungry. Drinking a thing of milk in her panties. Checking the oven periodically for her little cookies. Just a little stoned bot. Mellow bot. Subdued bot. Submissive bot. Yeah, the marijuana is great. You can bond over it. There's a certain time and place where, like today, the guy gave me the idea. I'm about to roll a joint. Today, like a day like today is definitely it's time to smoke. It's time to smoke when you wake up, you know. But mostly, it's something you do at nighttime. You know, at the end of the day, at the end of the practice, at the end of the recording session. That's my favorite part. Is are we done? This is supposed to be my favorite thing in the world, but are we done? Can we just listen to it now? Play with the fucking master tape. It's my favorite part. There just needs, maybe the government will allow it, and they'll put out some underground records, in the way of like LSD 25, and just slip me a couple hundred hits, and be like, yo, be careful, dude. And it's like, oh, trust me, I'm an expert at this shit. You know, I think they might. I have a feeling they're gonna do that for me one day. They're just gonna make a batch of Owlsley shit, and just give me, and I guess if they can find some other people like me, and just hand me a couple of hits of purple Xandos mics. You know, holy shit, me and Little Bot are gonna get high. 16-hour bot tripping in the yard, pulling leaves off the trees. Oh my god, the fucking nature's beautiful. Everything's breathing. That's some Xandos bot. And it's great to have sex on acid. That's all I'm take Neelabot. Take that pussy. And an LSD haze. Oh my god. Because mushrooms are okay, but I mean, like I told you, mushrooms I don't. They're okay, but they make me sick sometimes, and everything turns into earth. Everything turns into Dagobah. Everything. I feel like I'm living inside a mud hut, and there's a tree growing through the middle of my living room. And then there's mold and wet moss on the walls. I was like, I don't know about psilocybin, because that shit. Sometimes you can't really monitor how much you take. Sometimes you eat a cap and it's totally potent. You're like, holy shit, I gotta go in the bathroom and throw up. You trip for 8 hours off a big cap. Little Bot's tolerance is up though. She ate 4 hits this morning. It's just kicking in right about now. Just, I mean, wouldn't that be a great life? Just light doses of amphetamine, medium doses of hallucinogenic drug. It's all kid shit. It's all candy bars. I mean, no one can get hurt. Some Molly or some original recipe MDMA or MDA. Oh shit, Dad, I'm a pussy. You like that? That's some designer drugs from an era gone by, Milaba. You kids today, that's what I'm saying. They're so fucking weak. They couldn't handle an acid trip. Their psyche would get on the acid I used to take. Their psyche would rip like a piece of loose leaf paper down the center, and they'd run out into traffic and get blasted by a fucking truck. You got to be careful. Back in our day, like I told you 100 times, we used to have these extra strong doses of clinical government grade acid, and we'd go off into a bad trip, and you're on your own, buddy. You better. The only thing you can do is pray to God. Oh my God. But nowadays they got shit like, you start having a bad trip, you just eat a Xanax and you level right out. I can't tell you how many Saturday nights I spent on the floor with my clothes off, praying to my little Madonna statue. Please God, I promise I'll never take acid again if you fucking take this bad trip away. You can't call anybody. The numbers on the phone are melting together. And you're not right for months afterward. You have a Nietzschean issue with God after that. Yeah, the acid, there's not enough acid casualties I see anymore. That's all the kids do is they just smoke pot, and it's so red nowadays. It's like I see people just smoking pot on the street, and it angers me because it's a sacred ritual. The plant is sacred. The whole Shiva, it's a religious experience. It's not something you do on the street while you're taking the garbage out or while you're doing this. It's like, no, it's like sitting and meditating. It's like doing yoga. There's a time and place for it, and it's sacred. Shut the fuck up! Jesus. These are words of wisdom, though. You know what I mean? The whole world's smoking it. Smoking it in traffic, driving down the street. It's like, why do you need to be high to drive down the street? Do you even like getting high? What is it about getting high you like? You don't deserve catnip in the middle of public. You do that shit at home.